Okay, I'm going to just hide that. Hello, everyone. We are live. I am Heather Jean. I'm joined by the amazing Marcy Heil, and I'm kind of laughing now because I was going to do the little usual, coffee in the community with a little 10-second countdown, and then I pushed the 30-second countdown, and I was like, oh, I'm not waiting 30 seconds to start this conversation with Marcy. So let's just stop that now.
All
But
right.
we are live. We should be live in Facebook, YouTube, and a Confidence for Cabaret community on Facebook. So I'm excited. And then we'll share this with all of you on Instagram as well. Hello, Marcy.
Hi, Heather. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm good. Good.
Well, we met because the wonderful Paula Shepherd uh, had a conversation with me and went, "You need to meet Marcy." And then we spoke, and the kind of the tagline that Paula gave me was, "Oh, she's really into like rebelling against moms being a superhero." And I was like, "Mm-hmm, yeah." Yeah, I mean, and for me, it's like rebelling against like any labels that define us.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody can find their own definition or just live under whatever. I mean, there doesn't have to be these labels that we all have. We all do our own thing, and that's great.
Exactly, exactly. Now tell everybody in the Confidence for Cabaret community and family, what do you do, Marcy?
My goals are mainly I bring mamas together, moms and all women. I believe that mama is more of a state of mind because women in general, moms especially, are bosses and brilliant and just badass. And so the babies are kind of just a bonus. But all women are mamas. We have attitude and we have the right to share it and say it whenever we like. So that is my whole mama spiel. I have the mamahood in Facebook, and we are just women that are running businesses and working together to do so, supporting each other, learning from each other, buying from each other, and just getting along, getting through all of it together so that we can understand each other. And I guide them through my own sixth sense of, I use my empathic powers and just higher calling kind of to bring people together and give answers that people are seeking. I'm able to look a little bit deeper and hear a little bit more in what people are saying. And I kind of am able to interpret people's messages a little deeper. So I help them do that and bring forward their own natural gifts as well. So
Oh,
that's
I love that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful because you must be so tapped into feminine energy and to the creativity and obviously intuition and feelings. And we have spent time in such different places because I have my career always been in the masculine energy and just about doing and achieving and results and drive, and I didn't realize it until COVID.
yeah, yeah. My background is almost completely in feminine energy. I was a hairstylist for years, owned my own salon, ran my own business. And that's all about taking care of women, making them feel powerful and beautiful and better. The hair had very little to do with it most of the time. It was just about the experience and the feeling that every woman can get by being supported by another woman. And so, yeah, I dealt with that constantly, and I still I gravitate towards that and am pulled by that. So that's what I try to help people with and to support and love doing. So
And so, do you help people kind of tune into their own intuition?
I do. Yeah, I have several methods to where you can start to notice. Everybody has their own level of intuition and empathy as well, empathic ability. But we are told by society that we really shouldn't listen to that we really should listen to what we're supposed to do, that whole labels and rules thing. Um,
And you know
so,
how I feel about that.
yes, I feel the same way because we have such a natural inherent ability to make our own decisions and to know what the right decision is. If we are capable of listening to those instincts, it's almost 100% of the time the right decision. It always is for us, but for everybody that we help and that we are around as well, because intuition is just truth. It's just purity, and it will tell you what you're supposed to be doing in any given moment. So
Intuition is just truth.
it is.
Just
It's just the stuff that you don't really want to. I mean, it doesn't hide it. It it doesn't have any falsehood to it. It's just your own subconscious knowing what is right and wrong.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Um, I need to sit with that for a little while now.
Okay.
I'm not even really ready to kind of comment because I've always thought about it as like inner knowing, um, and I know that that means truth,
Right.
but truth is so much stronger to me than knowing. That's interesting.
It's just
Mm,
that gut feeling. That's all your intuition and your instinct is. That knowing that if the world was perfect, we could always follow that no
yeah.
matter what. Now, is the world perfect? No. Sometimes we have to do ABC to get to where we're supposed to be doing what we know is what we're supposed to be doing. But if, as long as you can feel what that truth is and what that power is inside of you, you can stay along the right path and be able to. And I'm not talking right path in religious terms or any other connotation, just what is true to you.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, but it's truth is, seems to me in my head that that word is rooted so much in a strong anchor
Mhm.
as opposed to a knowing, which feels a little bit could blow in the wind.
Right.
I feel like truth is like, yeah,
It is. And everybody knows their own truth. But like I said, whether you listen to it or follow it, sometimes that's easy and sometimes that's not. So,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think what I love about your work is that when you combine the kind of the what we're supposed to be as mothers, and then you combine and all the labels, and then you put that together with your own truth, then it really tells you, are you surrounded by the right people? Are you doing the right things in alignment with your values? Are you managing your time properly? Are you parenting yourself properly? Right? Because when we're adults, nobody comes and parents us anymore.
very right. Yes. Uh-huh. And it's
Interesting.
hard to always know. I mean, it's not hard to know. It's, I think we always do. And we're lying to ourselves if we don't know what we're supposed to do in almost any situation. But it's hard to sometimes stand up and say, no, I'm not supposed to go where you're telling me to go. I'm supposed to do what I've decided to do, what I know I'm supposed to do, and
Yeah.
stand out on your own.
Yeah, and so much of that relies on the fact that we have all this programming from our own parenting, from whether that's from parents and carers, whether that's from teachers, or even our peers, friends, our friends or peers parents. We have parenting coming through messages from there as well. So I think it's interesting, when you start to think, okay, well, that's what I'm supposed to be living now. I don't really want to be like that, but we are like that
Right.
because that was our programming. And unless we reparent ourselves, then that
Very
makes it,
true.
yeah, that makes it so much more difficult.
Right. And I think
Okay.
as moms too, just being able to stand up enough to say that no, I'm not going to parent my children the way that you tell me I'm supposed to parent my children. I'm going to guide them even into adulthood how I know they should be guided and teach them how to do it for themselves as well. I have a 17-year-old daughter, and that's very important to me to teach her how to listen to what she knows she should be doing. I don't have to tell her the right choice. She knows.
Yeah, and I think that's a really great lesson to learn younger. I think that trusting yourself, knowing yourself, and then trusting yourself is I did that with my children, but I don't know that the community around has supported it in the same kind of way.
Right.
So I think they have messages here, and then there's of course cultural messages. I'm
Of
in the
course.
UK, and they're very different to my own messages. And it's not just one of us being able to share that voice, but it's also about what we're practicing, because young people are watching what we're doing.
Always. Yeah. Always.
Yeah, yeah, which is why my children are terrible at self-care, because they never
I'm
saw
getting
what that
better.
was.
I'm getting better too. And I am, and I think self care is often, I have another mentor that she says it's not about the baths and the bubbles. It's not about just having a bottle of wine in the bathtub. It is
Yeah.
finding your own voice and your own path and your own purpose. That's self-care. That listening to your heart and listening to your instincts and what you know is right is part of self-care, because for so many years, like you said, preset patterns and preset ideas of what especially a super mom is supposed to be is just there, and it's pounded even by other women into us that we have to do it this way, the Pinterest way or whatever you talk about. And it's a path that each of us have to take, and we have to have support along the way, but we travel it ourselves. We have to figure out what that is and what we're supposed to be teaching and guiding and living ourselves in order for them to watch and to learn from us as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I think labels play a lot in our life. I think toxic positivity, I know you and I have talked about this before, plays a big part of it. So who we're supposed to be.
Right.
And when we have this, this is my label as a mother, or this is my label as a businesswoman, or whatever it is, and then I'm supposed to be that way.
Right.
But, and then we don't even have autonomy anymore.
No, no. I Yeah, there's a million things that tell us how we're supposed to be. And it's funny to me because one, they're all so different. Like, how are you supposed to be all these different things? It's not even possible. But so many moms think they have to be, they have to be doing everything A, B, C, D, and E. And now that we're out here on Facebook trying to build businesses and we do everything they say to do, they don't know me.
Yeah.
They know me. So
Yeah.
I do things my own way, and sometimes it's great and it works, and sometimes it's not received perfectly, and that's okay because it was still my idea and it was still my way to do it, and it can be, adjusted and evaluated. But there's so much that we're supposed to live up to and supposed to do that's just not, it's not healthy, and it's not going to make you happy, and it just doesn't, life doesn't work that way. You can't be the supposed tos.
And it was created in a whole different time when the rules were people were listening to the rules, they were more compliant about them. Now people are questioning them and pushing. So then we go, yeah, this is right. I have, autonomy over my body, or I have I get to share my message, or what. And then we go, oh, but wait, should I though? And then that voice kicks in, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so I played it the other way, and I genuinely never believed I had imposter syndrome until I realized. But before that, it was because of toxic positivity, and it was because so I have to appear a certain way. People expect me to show up a certain way, or in a certain mood, or with a certain energy, and so that's the role that I play.
right.
And so I managed to avoid my whole imposter voice by just being, I have to be on, I have to be positive, I have to, everything's going to be great. Um, and then, of course, when the whole world gets taken down simultaneously, then we realize that in that quiet, there's a lot more depth.
Yes, very much so. And it can be scary. I mean, you never had all that time to yourself and all that, but all of a sudden we were thrown into literally having to be all the roles, especially again, moms have rough, we had to work at home and teach at home and clean and cook and be happy and be present and tell them all that it was all going to be all right, and that we were going to figure it out, and that it was no big deal, and all of that. And then you didn't have anybody else to fall back on and anybody else to rely on. Not to say the husbands don't help, or boyfriends, or spouses in general. Of course they do, but there's so much pressure put on the mom to hold it all together, to keep it all going and running smoothly. And I think most of us accomplished it the best way that we could, but I know there were a lot of lonely moments and a lot of breakdowns during all of that, because how could you be expected to do that in times that had never been seen before? It's an impossible task, and smile while you're doing it, while you're not getting any of your own time and any of your own thoughts out because you just don't have room for it. So
So how do people move forward from here now? having been through all of the working at home and, I mean, a lot of people were homeschooling. I think that's the only thing that would have made lockdown harder for me, would have been to have young children at home. Because a lot of stuff came out and I just wouldn't have had the space for both homeschooling and raising children and all sharing that space.
Right.
How do we go? How do we move?
One step at a time, one day at a time. Like I think with us, I have a teenager and I have a 10-year-old. So I had both ends of the spectrum. The teenager wanted to see her friends and the 10-year-old didn't have any idea what it was, but cool, I don't have to go to school, and all of that kind of stuff. And he is actually still being homeschooled. So we're working through that together. But each day is a different opportunity to just tap in and listen to what your gut is trying to tell you in order to maneuver and to manifest what you're supposed to be doing, because nobody knows what you're supposed to be doing anymore. It's all different and nobody has done this before. So what a great opportunity to just figure out whatever the hell it is you want to be doing and do it. There's so much opportunity for that, and so many more voices are coming forward doing just that. But I think the key is that you genuinely do need to be able to tap into that own instinctual base and feel what is right for you. You're not going to go be a Bitcoin miner if you have no idea what the hell Bitcoin is. You have to figure out your own path and your own, what you can give to somebody, what you can create out here. It doesn't have to be massive and it doesn't have to be miraculous. It just has to be you. And everybody is their own expert in something. You just have to learn how to tap into that and to share it in the best way possible for you. And there are people out here to help you do that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we get so hung up on the why, and then, sorry, not the why, the how. And we get so hung up on the, like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to ask for help. I don't know what even my questions are about it. I just don't know what I don't know. So I love that you say that there is so much help and there are so many people sharing, their skills and their expertise and their experiences. And I think it can be really hard to trust yourself if you don't know who you are. So if you are your label, if you are your, the roles that you play, or you are somebody wearing a mask that's not being authentic for whatever reason, then it makes it ever harder to be able to get out there and share your genuine message.
It does. And, again, it goes back to those labels. We're told to do that, to fill a role and cry in the shower when no one's looking and, do all that kind of stuff. And there's so much pressure even out here on Facebook to always be smiling and always be on and da 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 da. Well, we don't all have great days. We don't. Sometimes it's my hair's in a this, whatever this is. And I have a million things that I have to do, but it's showing up for 20 minutes and talking about what it is that I think and being able to convey that to people as best as I can for that 20 minutes, because there might be that one person listening that just needs to hear that message that it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And if you need help, hey, reach out. I'm happy to do it. There are lots of communities that are just out there for just that. Come in, let us talk, let's support you, let me listen if that's what you need. And maybe we can figure out the next step together. If not, I'll be happy to listen just for that 20 minutes and you can get out what you were going to cry about and we can all have a better day after that.
Yeah. We all need the witness. We all need somebody to be there for us, for sure. And also, if you don't know a way to help them, you probably know somebody who knows a way. It's all networking anyway.
It is. There's a ton out here right now. And like Paula put us together because she knew that we'd have great conversations. And Paula's awesome to talk to. She knows everything about business. If you want to know about that, coming from the corporate world, mine is more of an emotional level. I've worked with women and women's emotions my entire life. So I feel them differently. I see them differently. And I'm able to help people work through them a little bit quicker because of the way that I feel them. But there's a lot of people out there that can't handle the emotional side of things. So you need to be able to maneuver and find that person that works best in what you need, and that you can just listen to, even if you don't want to talk. That we're all out here talking about something. So just listen to us and find the one that resonates most with you.
Yeah, I love that. And I mean, that was kind of one of the things that we said when we started Confidence Through Cabaret, is not just that, that this is about selling us and our message and our, you know, products or training or whatever it is. It's really got to be a place where it's supportive and collaborative, and people can say, I'm really struggling today. And other people can say, yeah, I can help you.
Right. Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Just I do that too. I offer these calls that I just call empathic solution calls. All it is, for 20 minutes, you can ask me any questions you want. And if I have the answers, I'll give them to you. It doesn't necessarily mean they're my answers. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be the best friends, because we might not be. But I can help you find somebody that can help you if it's not me, or I can maybe see things a little bit differently from a different side of it than you're looking at it. And maybe it's something in your past that you need to look at that's causing this issue. Maybe it's, from 5 days ago or 5 years ago. But sometimes, a lot of times, it's just something that you never quite talked about or quite worked out, and it's still bringing it back into the present time. And if I can see that and help you look at it, then I'm more than happy to do that. So
I love that. I
that's
love
what
that. So get in touch with Marcy for sure. If you want to book a call, it's not it's not a high pressure from the sounds of it. It's not like
No,
a
it's not a sales call at all. I'm not going to mention anything about sales.
yeah. So if I did want to work with you, or people in the community want to work with you, then what? So we have the 20-minute call probably, and
Right.
then tell us about your work, Marcy.
I and everybody's a coach at something, or everybody's a mentor at something, or I don't know what I am. I do know that I can help women. I can guide them through whatever it is that they need to work through. With each person, it's a little bit different what they need to feel their way through. I'm able to feel what they're feeling, on a little bit deeper level, because just that's just what I can do. I've always been able to do it. I've always been able to feel a little bit more, and hear a little bit more from what people are saying that they might not be hearing. Um, so I help them work through that. And then I have designed certain courses and one on one coaching that just allows them to look at those things from different angles, work through them, and move past them as best as they can, so that they can then listen and feel that instinctual thing that we've been talking about. Because sometimes you can't. A lot of times you've blocked it because there are other issues in the way. And so if we can help you work through those issues, you can get around that, and then you can move forward with what it is you want to do. So I have developed certain programs that allow you to work through those issues, and then teach you how to tap into that feeling and being able to do it and not being afraid of it and trusting it. So you learn to trust yourself again, and you learn to trust where you're going to take yourself from there.
Hmm. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's really great. And I don't think we invest enough in that. I think
No,
we invest in something that says, you're going to be able to sell more of these, or I'm going to teach you how to write your course or film your thing, or build your tech, whatever it is.
right. Yeah,
And we go, oh yeah, that's a how to. It's a real masculine energy thing, right? I'm going to be able to tick boxes. I'm going to be able to see how it increased my profits or whatever.
right. Yeah. And I mean, my main program is it's called the Power Program, but it takes you through those six main things that people are talking about on Facebook and how to work through them: the money, the time, popularity, health, relationships, and the pain that you're feeling. I can take you through all of that on an intuitive level, and we can figure out where you're stuck and why. And then you can relate any of that back to whatever business it is you're trying to be in, because those blocks are there, and we just need to figure out why, and then work through what comes next. So
Beautiful.
that's what I do.
Because if you have those blocks, and I want to be really clear, because I know there's lots of people in the community and followers that have a physical product or a how to kind of thing. obviously everybody needs help with the how if they don't know,
Right.
but if those blocks still exist, you can
Mhm.
have all the how you want. It doesn't work.
Nope, you're not going to get them if you're blocked in any way. I mean, you can be out here telling, you know, the biggest secret in the world and teaching people how to do it. But if you're not, if you are blocked in being able to receive the money that you deserve, nobody's going to pay you for those secrets. This is not going to happen. You
Yeah.
have to know your own worth before you can be paid for it. That's how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And I think that that's the thing is, if you're trying to figure out, starting a business or even advancement in a full-time job in a company,
Right.
then you do need to look at the how in terms of your own self and
Yes.
not just the how in terms of equipment or tech.
Right. I mean, that all comes, that's all great. I wish I could teach people tech. I can't. My brain doesn't do tech. But I can teach you how to be able to receive that from somebody else, to learn how to do that, and to be able to understand why you need that, and when it's the right time to invest in all of that as well. It all takes a specific timeline. You have to be able to start with you in order to get to the they. It just, that's how life works. You have to fix you before you can help anybody else.
Why do you think that we're so resistant to all of those things? Do you think it's just programming, or just the kind of the masculine energy of doing, or where does it come from?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think the programming is way deep in the don't be selfish, don't think about you, don't talk about you, don't worry about you. Always be doing, always be achieving, always be going, like you said. And we get lost in that. Because we've been told our whole lives that it's selfish and that it's self-centered and that you're supposed to be doing for other people and thinking about other people, especially as women, big time. Um, so we don't think about us. We figure, oh, I'll get to that. I'll get to that. And I'm guilty. I do it. My kids need something. They get it. They get it before I do. It is just is. And would I step in front of a bus for my kids? Yeah. I'm not going to be selfish and say, no, it's your turn. You go get hit by that bus. That's not how that works. But
No.
there
It's
is.
Cinderella, though. We grow up with all those stories.
Exactly. Yeah, that we're supposed to just give and do and not worry about how we're treated or what we think of ourselves. But it all comes back to that, because if you can't take care of yourself and if you can't think highly of yourself, then how are you expected to be able to give all of that to somebody else? You can't. You can't. You may be able to for a certain amount of time, but it's not going to be long, because eventually they all are gone and then you're on your own and you don't even know who you are anymore.
No.
So then what? I think it's just, I know because I've been there in that place where I looked in the mirror and didn't even know who the hell I was. So I think every mom has gone through that at some point. And if you can't know your own self worth and your own self power without all the other things, then you can't give any power or any strength to anybody else. You just can't,
No.
because you don't have it to give.
Well, I have an empty cup.
You're done.
And I literally just posted about a week ago, you can't fill from an empty cup. And
That's
that's
very
that.
true.
That's
That's
that.
very true.
It's like, okay, well, I have nothing to share.
Yes, yeah. And I think the same thing with, the out here, women especially, we're programmed to buy diets and health and fitness, and we tend to gravitate towards that. If we look better, we'll feel better stuff, which on a certain level is true. I mean, I'm a hairstylist. I can't tell you doing your hair is a bad thing, but deep
Was that
down,
was that
it
a
doesn't.
hint? Was that a hint? I haven't had a cut for like
No,
years
keep
now
it line.
because
No,
of,
you
because of
take it.
COVID. Yeah, no, sorry. I said, you're right though. You're right, because if it feels good, that's great.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But but what if but what if it doesn't feel good and we still go to the hairdresser? Then we're just going through the motions.
Right. We're just doing it for everybody else. And we could look, like the model in the magazine, but you still feel like shit. So what's the point of it? You know, I would much rather feel better than look better and have looked horrible and felt great. So
But the truth is, you'll look better if you feel better anyway.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
which is what we're saying.
Yes. Yeah. And you have more strength when you have belief and strength in yourself. It's just you're able to give more and do more and be more when you are more.
Oh, I love that you just said that. I don't know if I've ever experienced this before, but I need to go back over the recording of this discussion and just really emphasize the 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 truth that you've just been dropping is it's beautiful. So
You?
I've always sort of said, oh, I should use little clips. I fully intend to. I love this conversation, Marcy. Thank you
I do
so
too.
much.
I think Paula was perfect in putting us together.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, okay, now I see why. Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. I go about it in a really different way because again, we come from very different
Yes.
backgrounds. I go about it a whole different way. I go about it much more of a, kind of in your face, stop all of this, kind of a thing. And,
Right.
I like to call it out um, quite
Right.
strongly. Um, and I love that, you are sharing, I mean, your time as much as anything, which is so valuable to have these 20-minute empathic calls. And you're doing it for free
Yeah. Yeah.
because you really believe in what you're doing,
I do. Yeah.
which
And I
is
believe
refreshing.
that's what I know that's what I'm supposed to do is just help as many as I can. And if they need more, then they'll come to me and ask for more. That's how it works out.
That's how
What
it
you
works.
need, you'll get there when it's the best time. So that's kind of how I do
Beautiful.
everything. I just roll with it now.
Beautiful. And we can find you. And have I spelled this right? Mamahood?
Yep, the mamahood.
Okay.
And
Or you
it's
can
not
look
a
up
mommy group.
It's not a mommy group. I love that. I love
No,
that because you said that at the beginning, and actually, it's worth repeating that we all have that that mum in us, whether we
right.
have
Yeah.
children or not. Yeah,
Yeah. It's I mean, you want to talk about your kids, great. We can dish on kids and husbands and bag on them all you want. But it is more about women who are out here in this online space and trying to make extra money or a living in general, and all of us supporting each other and doing that.
beautiful, beautiful. Get in touch. Get in touch. Join
Yes,
the
please
Facebook
do.
group.
Please do.
Yeah, I love all these groups because I'm in everybody's group because I'm really excited by what's being shared and what's what people are looking for, and it's not market research. If I was
No.
smart, it would be, but it's not really. It's not what it's about.
Right. Yeah, that's
It's
how it started. They always tell you that's where you're supposed to start and figure it out. And no, it's more just, God, I love the way this one talks, or this one really knows what she's talking about on this level. And then that I end up following, it's mostly women. Like, I don't even have any guy friends.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, you if you want to get in touch with your intuition, then listen to people and you'll find it.
Right. Yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
Marcy, thank you so much for being
Thank you
here
for having
in
me.
Confidence Through Cabaret. Thank you so much for sharing. Uh,
Anytime.
I absolutely love it. And I know we're not done. I
Probably
just
not.
know we're not.
No.
We're just not done. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I just know that something.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we'll talk again. I know we will.
Mm. Amazing. So you can always talk to Marcy via the Confidence Through Cabaret. If you're seeing this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. But you can, of course, get in touch with Marcy through searching the names. If you're listening to this on podcast or on audio in some way, then that could be on Confidence Through Cabaret. That could be just be listening to YouTube. But it's Marcy, Marcy. Because I always want to spell it with an E, so I'm
Everybody
making
does.
that point. Yeah, right. And then Heil,
Right. Heil. Uh-huh.
and then so you could find Marcy there, or you could find Mamahood, which is MAMA Hood
Right. Yeah.
on Facebook.
Or on Instagram as well. It's Marcy's Mamahood. So either way.
Oh, Marcy's Mama,
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for being here, Marcy.
All right. Well, thank you, Heather. I appreciate it.
I am so excited to share this with everybody. I know that those of you who've been around Confidence Through Cabaret really understand why Marcy and I are aligned, because we're very much about following our own inner voice, and not the rules, the labels, all of those things, they're made up. Time, all of it's all made up. Exactly, exactly. And so I know that you'll appreciate when I close with, it is your body. You get to decide. It's your world, and you get to follow whatever you're meant to be following. And it is your stage. Take up space, own it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Marcy.